Hi, it's Jeannie again. Yesterday I posted a video on pregnancy, but after I did the video, I realized that I missed out a lot of points inside my video. Today I'm going to do a part two of my video, and I'm just gonna mention all the bits that I missed out and also talk about breastfeeding and how to choose your milk formula afterwards. Let's begin. Being pregnant is a very exciting experience in pregnancy, but many people do experience pregnancy discomforts. And although it's very exciting, your husband might not know it, but you'll be experiencing a lot of back pains. You'll be having a lot of pimples, swelling, along with the nauseous feeling that I talked about in my last post. And you'll also be having mixed emotions and you'll be depressed easily. And for me, I realize that I get frustrated quite easily nowadays. I don't know why, maybe it's the hormones inside me, but yeah. And during the later months of your pregnancy, you might experience leg cramps. During my last pregnancy, I experienced one or two leg cramps during the night, and very luckily, my husband was next to me and he could help ease the pain. Um, and then you'll also have tummy cramps. During the first few months of my pregnancy, I had quite a few tummy cramps, and apparently they're normal unless you see blood in your panties or blood coming from your vagina, then it's normal. But if you really do see blood, then you really need to see your doctor as soon as possible because it might be something quite serious. Apart from that, some people experience hair loss. During my first pregnancy, I didn't really experience much of that. Um, in fact, I actually realized that I had more hair than normal. And so when I went to the hairdressers, the lady was very surprised to see my very, very, very thick hair. And so every time I went to the hairdresser, she had to layer it for me. However, during this pregnancy, during the first few months of this pregnancy, I realized that my hair was falling out quite often and in more strands than normal. But it wasn't anything to worry about because I don't really have that problem anymore. And it's very normal in pregnancy. Some people actually lose a lot of hair during pregnancy, but I'm glad that it was okay because my hair is quite thick and it wasn't that noticeable. So, um, anyways, so during pregnancy, oh yes, my husband also said to me that I started snoring while being pregnant. I've never snored before. He never told me, he never complained that I snored before until after I was pregnant with my first child. Um, he only had to deal with it for 10 months, but I have to deal with it for like every day because he snores nearly every night and I have to use earplugs every night. Um, but he only has to deal with it for like 10 months, so I mean, that's a benefit, right? It's good for him. Okay, anyway, yeah, you do snore, or you might snore, and he realized that I teeth grinding. I actually didn't know what it was, but yeah, he said that I had that, and he really recorded it, and I really did snore, and I really did have teeth grinding. And apart from that, you'll always not you'll always, but I always have a blocked nose at night when I sleep, and so I always have to kind of use two pillows to tilt my head up or higher so that I don't have that problem. But then with the two pillows, it kind of makes my neck very sore, and so I might throw away my pillow during the night. And poor husband, because he has to kind of deal with it. I just throw it over the other side, and he'll just hug it to sleep. And so yeah, um, and as well as that, I realize that I don't sleep as well. Well, the quality of sleep is not as good. Like I've never been a deep sleeper or anything before giving birth or before having children, but since being pregnant, I think that I wake up more easily, and I can't fall asleep as easily, and so I just feel that I'm not getting enough rest because I don't feel like I've had enough rest. Like the normal 8 hours a day don't really work for me. I have to sleep at least 10 hours because the quality of sleep is not very good for me. And another thing is you might find bleeding gums when you brush your teeth. It did happen with me, and it still does. Whenever I brush my teeth, I always find that I'm spitting out blood, and it's quite normal. And I know some people who have told me about it before too. Like they experienced the same problem, and they asked me if it was normal. And yes, it's normal. You do experience that problem sometimes. Well, some people do. Well, but I try to avoid it. Well, I use this toothpaste called Propolis toothpaste. My Propolis toothpaste is from a brand called Atomy. It's a Korean brand. I don't really know where to buy it in Hong Kong because they don't have a store here. My parents-in-law got it from some guy who sells Atomy products, and they're trying to sell it in Hong Kong now. But I have realized it is quite good. I will blog on it later when I do get hold of the Atomy toothpaste because I just finished mine recently, and I went to buy the Comvita Propolis toothpaste, but I really don't like the taste of it. It makes me want to vomit. I just don't like the mint taste. In fact, I don't like the mint taste of any toothpaste nowadays. It just makes me want to vomit. But that the Atomy Propolis toothpaste, it doesn't have a very strong mint taste, and so I'm fine with it. In fact, it's a little sweet, and I have heard many good reviews about it too. And so I'll do a review when I get hold of them. And so, as well as those problems, I have just recently started to have heartburn and indigestion as my belly grows bigger. It's very annoying, and I can't take medicine. Well, I avoid taking any medicine, and so I just have to deal with it. But you just can't eat too much in one go. I just had dinner with my husband. It's his birthday today, and we had dinner, and I had a really, really, really big meal because I paid for it, and I spent $100 in the dessert, and so I kind of had to finish it because I paid so much. And so after that, I kind of had indigestion. My stomach doesn't feel so well, and I'm just slowly digesting it now. And I can't sleep at the moment because I still feel uncomfortable. But I'm still doing this video, so I hopefully after doing the video I can go to sleep. Okay, as well as that, the heartburn and digestion. The other problem that I don't like about pregnancy is I always have to go to pee now. When your tummy gets bigger, it kind of pushes down against your uterus, and it makes you want to pee. It's better now when I'm only 5 months into my pregnancy, but in the later months of the pregnancy, you will have to pee quite often. I didn't drink a lot of water, but you still need to go to pee, and it gets really annoying when I'm going out with my husband and then I suddenly go, I need to pee, but there's no toilet around, and it's just really embarrassing looking for a toilet when I'm in desperate need of a toilet. And so that's another one of the bad things about being pregnant. Other than that, it is okay. And the thing is, after I gave birth to Jasper, like I've never had eczema before, but after I gave birth to Jasper, I started having eczema, and it was really annoying. Like I didn't know what it was at first because I've never had them before, and I suddenly started having it. Okay, of course I have a post about eczema, and I have kind of gotten rid of it now, so it's not a problem to me anymore. Well, it's not as big of a problem to me anymore, but it was really annoying, and I did have to see a few doctors to kind of get rid of it. But it was really itchy and just really embarrassing because mine grew in the places where it's like very embarrassing to itch. It's in a very private area, and when I'm on the street, you just really want to itch it, but you can't because everyone is looking at you, and yeah. So anyway, You can see my blog, you can see my posts on eczema and dry and itchy skin if you want to have a look at how to cure your eczema or just help it or relieve it. Okay, so next is in my last video I talked about drinking chocolate milk, and I did say that I would talk about later, but seeing that my video went to 35 minutes, I forgot to talk about it. And it's a superstition that by eating dark foods or dark colored foods, it will make your baby darker in color. Well, I didn't believe in it before until I drank chocolate milk in my last pregnancy, and my son turned out to be darker in color. Like, his face is very white now, but his hands, his arms, his legs, his body is just darker in color. I mean, I'm so white. I mean, I'm just naturally white. But he's so dark. And my husband is not very dark in color. Well, he didn't used to be dark when he was young. He just likes to run in the sun, and so he's become very dark now. But he wasn't born like that, and so Jasper shouldn't be born black. Well, not black, but just darker in color. And so I believe that it was because I drank chocolate milk. And so I don't know if it's a superstition, but because it happened to me, and I've heard it happen to my friend as well, and so I am definitely going to avoid it this time. I have not drank chocolate milk in this pregnancy, and I don't eat as much chocolate in this pregnancy as I did in my previous pregnancy. Okay, next. Okay, so feminine hygiene is very important, but it is often overlooked. I have also posted about feminine hygiene on my blog before. I've posted the products I use and why I like them and what works for me now. So just go and have a look, and yeah, I won't bother talking about it here. So doctor checkups. In my first pregnancy, I went to the government ones. I went to the public ones. They were free. In Hong Kong, if you're a Hong Kong citizen, then these checkups are free. And I went to them too, as well as going to my private ones. I don't go to the public ones anymore because the waiting time is very long. And the appointments are usually in the morning. I don't get it because in the morning, that's the time when I feel most unwell. It's usually when you just wake up, and I feel very nauseous in the morning, especially at those times. If it's like at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I cannot wake up to go to these appointments feeling unwell, especially in my first pregnancy when I vomited 10 times a day. I was in that car just going to the hospital, and I vomited 5 times in the car in the morning. So I don't go to those anymore. And also because the waiting time, I still remember going to the hospital for a checkup. I waited there for 3 hours, and when I went to see the doctor just swiped his hand over my belly from left to right, and then he was like, "You can go now." And I'm like, really? That took 1 minute, and I waited there for 3 hours? Okay, so it was a really waste of time, and no one has bothered to go with me anymore. Because, yeah, no one's free to go there with me for 3 hours just for that 1 minute checkup anymore. It's free, but no, I'm not going there. So now I go to my private doctor's clinic for checkups. He's the doctor who's going to be helping me deliver. It's the same doctor as the one I went to before. It's quite costly. It costs around Hong Kong dollars, around $1,000 for each checkup if you're not doing a special ultrasound test. So in the checkup, every month I go to visit him. I usually wait around 1 hour if there's a lot of people. If not, I wait around 15 to half an hour if there's not many people. What do I do what do I do there is private doctors usually do an ultrasound of your baby every time you visit, and so you can see how well your baby is growing. Um, private private clinics have this benefit. Public hospitals, they don't allow you to have ultrasounds very often unless you have some problem. I did have an ultrasound before there, when I complained that I had a lot of pain in my lower abdomen. So that was when they helped me do an ultrasound. But normally you don't usually have one unless it's very necessary. But in a private clinic, you go there and you take one every month. And if you're doing one of those structure tests to test like how big the head is, how big the organs are, then that would be more expensive. And at my doctor's place, I think that's over $1,700. I don't really remember. They do give you a list of the prices before you go, and so you'll know the price. But it's not cheap, but the waiting time is much less. And I don't know, we just prefer going there now. Since I go to both, I did go to both before, but now we just go to one. And since I'm planning to give birth in a private hospital anyway, so we didn't even bother visiting the public hospital this time. Okay, so next is pregnancy pillows. I did talk about them in my previous video, but today I think I went to search what was the name of my pillow, and so I can tell you today. The first pillow that I bought last year is called the Leechco Snuggle Loop Contoured Fit Body Pillow, and it costs $63.89 American dollars. It does cost quite a bit to ship to Hong Kong, but I found that it was a very good investment. So the one that I bought the first time looks like this. Oh, you can't see, can you? Okay, you can kind of see now. It's too bright. Okay, so it's like a O-shaped pillow. I would consider it more of as like an 8, the Roman numeral, like 8 kind of pillow. I realized that it supports the body more because of its shape. Your body goes inside the round part, and then it has like a part that sticks into your, I guess, above your tummy but below your rib cage, and then the other part supports your back, and then you wrap your legs around the bottom part of the 8, the curve of 8. But because of the shape, because you wrap your legs around the bottom of the pillow as well, it's quite hard to turn from side to side when you're sleeping. Like at night when you're on your left side, it's quite hard to turn onto your right side because your legs will have to kind of adjust. Like your right leg will have to suddenly go underneath the pillow, and then your left leg will have to climb over the pillow, and so it's quite hard. But the benefit of this pillow is that you can fold it up, you can kind of double it up so that it becomes like a U-shaped cushion kind of sofa for you to lie on when you want to read a book. And you can use it after you give birth. You can use it as like a pillow to support your baby when you breastfeed your baby. But the bad thing about this Leechco pillow is that it goes flat quite easily. My one has gone flat, or quite flat now. That is why I needed to buy a new one. And the hem around the neck area was too tight, so it kind of made my neck very uncomfortable. As well as that the pillow, that the part that I put my head on to sleep, it was kind of too flat for me, and so I had to put a small pillow underneath the body pillow to make it high enough for me to sleep on. and it gets too hot in the summer. Maybe it's the material inside, but I found that it made me sweat during the night. Well, it's normal for you to sweat during the night if you're pregnant anyway, but I realized that it was just really too hot for me because I used it during a point in time after I was pregnant because I still had back pain, and it was just really too hot and I couldn't use it anymore. So that's the Leachco Snuggle Loop Contoured Fit Body Pillow. As I said, it is cheaper. It's 63.89 cents American dollars. So after that, during this pregnancy, I was very prepared. I bought my body pillow very early on. I knew I was pregnant, and then I went to order my body pillow. The second body pillow that I bought was the Comfort U Total Body Support Pillow. It costs 99.95 US dollars, American dollars. It has a higher rating than the first pillow that I bought. But the reason why I didn't buy this one before is because it didn't used to ship to Hong Kong. And so I was forced to buy the Leachco pillow. But this time I saw it selling, and it was able to ship to Hong Kong. That was why I bought it. It is a U-shaped pillow, and here is a photo. I don't know if you can see it. It's a U-shaped pillow, and in the photo it says that you can sleep on the U-shape of the pillow, but I tried it and it was comfy. But after a few days, I started having a really, really bad headache, and I didn't know what was wrong until I turned the pillow the other way around so that it became like a proper U-shaped, like my legs would be at the bottom here. And I used my own pillow that I bought for like 1,000 Hong Kong dollars, and I didn't have that headache anymore. And so now I still use it as a body pillow, but I turn it upside down so that I don't waste the pillow. Well, with this body pillow, it's very fluffed up, like it's thicker, and it doesn't go flat as easier. Some people have said that it does go flat easily, but they do kind of teach you a way that you can fluff it up again, is to put it in your dryer, the drying machine that you dry clothes, and then I don't really know what you do. I think you just put it in, and then you put a tennis ball inside, and then it will help fluff up the pillow. But I haven't had to try that yet because I haven't used my pillow for too long, and so hopefully I won't need to use that kind of method. And if you do kind of put your head on the U area, then it means that you can turn from one side to another easier because your feet don't have anything kind of in the way. But then again, I turned my pillow upside down, so I still have that problem, but I've gotten used to it. But the fact that the shape does not have the things, kind of the round things and the things sticking in, I find that this pillow does not really support my back as much as the first pillow that I bought. But I'm still happy with it. I mean, it's still better than having like 5 pillows to sleep with instead of the body pillow. And I realize that my husband always likes to kind of hug my pillow to sleep, but I'm very picky and I'm very stingy about it when I sleep. I mean, the thing is mine, then it must be like mine, and I usually kick him off during the night. But yeah, it must be really comfy because he has his own bumper pillow, but he still prefers to hug my one instead of his one. So yeah, and the bad thing about my current one is that it is quite big and it's quite bulky. I'll show you. Well, I showed you yesterday. It's here. It's quite heavy. It's quite comfy, but it is very bulky and heavy if you don't have a very big bed. We have a queen size bed at the moment, and it takes up half the bed. But luckily we're getting a king size bed soon. So if I ever do become pregnant again, then I'll be able to use it in a much more comfortable space. Not that I want another child. I think 2 is enough. Okay, well, let's talk about pregnancy clothes. I didn't get to talk about it yesterday. So very early on into my pregnancy, I already found that normal bras weren't too comfortable for me because it kind of, the wire pushed against my stomach and it wasn't too good. So I bought bras without wires. Apparently some people say that you can still wear wired bras, but it has to be the ones for pregnancy because the cup is wider than the normal bras that we use before pregnancy. And also in my last pregnancy, I also tried using the panties that look like grandma's panties. They're really big and it covers your tummy. Apparently some people say maybe it's a gimmick from the shop, but they say that it helps support your tummy, and if you cover your tummy then your baby feels warmer. So I tried those, but into the later months of my pregnancy, I didn't like the feeling that there was an elastic band on the top of my tummy, and so I got rid of those, and I don't use them anymore. I don't even know where I put them, and so I don't use those anymore. Instead, I use kind of like bikini-like panties. They're much more comfortable. They sit below the belly, and so it doesn't interfere with my belly. And I use the bamboo charcoal fiber panties. I have posted about it before too, and so you can check my previous posts on that kind of panty. I did used to use cotton ones, but I don't use them anymore because they did become too tight. I don't like the fact that, okay, before pregnancy I was probably like a size medium, and then during pregnancy I became swollen and I had to change to size large. But I didn't really want to buy another set of panties, and I didn't know how much I would grow anyway, and so I didn't want to keep buying like medium, large, extra large. So I started using these bamboo charcoal fiber panties, and they're very good because they're very, very stretchy and they dry very quickly. And so the personal areas, the very intimate areas, don't become too humid, and so you won't have any skin problems. Not just about those, there are maternity pants on the market. In Hong Kong, they have maternity pants with elastic bands and then with a button, and so you can kind of adjust it as your pregnancy, as your belly grows bigger. But I don't really like them because there's still a very small elastic band that covers your waist, which is very uncomfy. And they don't have many styles. And so I started buying maternity pants online. I bought maternity jeans, and I bought the Secret Fit maternity jeans, the Secret Fit belly. It has a very stretchy material that covers the body, and it doesn't have that single like elastic band that covers the belly, like over the belly. It's a very stretchy material, like kind of like stockings, like leggings, like tights. It's just this really stretchy but very comfortable material that covers the whole belly area, and you can fold it down so that it goes under the belly. It looks very nice, and it's not very obvious if you hide it underneath any like clothes, and they usually look quite stylish. I usually buy them from Motherhood Maternity online, and they're quite affordable, and they do look quite nice. Like, you can't really tell a difference about them. They just look like jeans, but they're fake. So you can still be stylish when you're pregnant. And I try to reuse most of my clothes, pre-pregnancy clothes, so that I don't have to buy many maternity clothes. I only buy the pants. But during this pregnancy, I'm not as swollen and I can't fit into my maternity pants yet. I still wear leggings. I usually wear like a top which covers my bum, and then I usually wear leggings underneath, and then I wear my Chippy Chappa flats. They're very comfortable, and no one knows that I'm pregnant. People don't. So I seldom take the MTR, the train, because people usually drive me around. But I do yoga on Tuesdays, which is tomorrow, and so when I do yoga, I have to take the MTR. I have to take the train home, and no one actually gives up their seat for me. It's quite funny. It's like, yeah, they don't even care that I'm pregnant, and maybe it's not that obvious to them that I'm pregnant, but it was really funny last week actually. So after I went onto the train, I was on the phone with my husband, and we were talking about me doing prenatal yoga, and he asked me how it was, and everyone around me heard that I was pregnant because of doing prenatal yoga. And then by the time I finished my phone call, I realized that everyone was standing at least 1 meter away from me. It's really funny because the train was actually quite crowded, but everyone just stood really, really, really far away from me. It's like as if they were really scared to injure me. But yeah. And so when I got off, I got on to another train, and I stood in front of a woman. I didn't expect her to give up her seat for me, but it was quite a mean because I stood there, and she looked up. She was like, she saw that I was pregnant. She looked at my tummy, and then she instantly just looked down at her phone, and she just started playing with her phone. So she completely ignored the fact that I was pregnant, and yeah, she didn't give up a seat for me. Maybe it's because my tummy is not that big at the moment, but maybe people in Hong Kong really just need to know their manners, or just know that giving up a seat for like a pregnant lady is kind of a good thing, like a kind thing to do, because I did feel quite tired that day. Even though I have like very comfortable shoes and I did yoga, but I mean, just being pregnant, I just felt really tired. Oh yeah, and that's another bad thing about pregnancy is some people feel very tired all throughout the day. I used to feel very, very, very tired during the day until I started doing yoga, prenatal yoga. That's when I started becoming more energetic and I can actually go out every day. But I do know someone who is pregnant. Her baby is 1 month older than mine, but she's really tired every day. She sleeps until maybe like 3 p.m. and she wakes up, and all like during the day she's just really tired and she really needs to sleep. So I think prenatal yoga is just very good in helping you feel better. But I think maybe my husband's right. Maybe I need to do it at home too, and I need to be like less lazy about it. But I don't have the motivation to do it at home. That's why I go to classes and they force me to do all the steps. So yeah, I think that's about it for the pregnancy part. Okay, so after you give birth, if you're planning to breastfeed your child, then you may want to do breast massages to help increase your milk supply. You can Google on how to do it, or I can do a video about it later. You can also drink some herbal teas, which claim to help increase milk supply. But then there are some foods that you must avoid because they can stop your milk supply straight away. Even the doctor says it will stop your milk. So it's not like a Chinese tradition, a Chinese superstition or anything. It is true. You might want to Google because I don't really remember anymore. Yeah. And when you're breastfeeding, you need to avoid certain foods. Maybe all the foods that you couldn't eat when you're pregnant, then you'll have to kind of avoid them too during your breastfeeding period. And when you're breastfeeding, your nipples might become very sore, and you'll need to apply some lanolin. It is 100% pure lanolin. My hospital gave me a tube for free after I gave birth. Maybe because it's the fee that we paid, it was very expensive, and so they gave us like a bag of things to use. But you can still buy them at shops where they sell like pregnancy and baby things. And then there are also breastfeeding pumps, either manual or electronic, that help you breastfeed easier. I have both at home because I didn't have much of a milk supply because my baby came early. And so I used pumps to help me with breastfeeding. And also that you can kind of breastfeed it when the baby is asleep. Because my baby because he was premature, so he had to sleep more. He slept nearly every hour of the day, and we had to force him to wake up during the day to drink milk. But yeah, so if you pump your milk beforehand, then you can feed the milk to him or her anytime you want, especially if you're working, then that's very good. And whether you want to buy a manual or an electronic one, it all depends on you. The electronic ones are more expensive, and they do claim that they can help massage your breasts as well. The manual one is, I don't know, it's just really up to you, really. It depends on you, yourself. You can try. The hospital allows you to try both, actually. So you can try before you buy. Well, breast milk is claimed by many doctors and many nutritionists to be the best form of milk for the baby, as it's good for their general health and it helps with their immune system and everything. But if you really do not have milk supply and if you really cannot breastfeed your milk, don't be depressed about it, because you're not the only one. The more you feel stressed about it, the more you cannot provide your baby with enough milk. It's a mental thing. And so I think that if you really can't, don't force yourself and don't feel bad about it. Don't let other people make you feel bad about it, because it's not really your fault. And yeah, breasts sag after breastfeeding. A little. Well, I've heard many people say it, and maybe it does sag. So maybe you need to massage your breasts every now and then, kind of to keep the shape back, because you're after you finish breastfeeding, your breasts will change shape, and so it's important that you keep the shape up, because of gravity and everything. Okay, so choosing the milk formula for your children. This is actually quite important if you're not breastfeeding your children. And something that works for someone's child does not mean that it will necessarily work for your child. That is a very important thing to remember. Because Jasper came early, and so I wasn't there to provide him with breast milk first instant, because he needed to be fed 2 hours a day. And before that, in hospital, he was fed around 1.5 hours a day. And for a while, he was inside a plastic container. And so I couldn't go to feed him. And so the nurses fed him with breast milk. And the first breast milk that he was fed was the Nan 1 Pro by Nestle. I chose this one because my mother-in-law said that her 3 children were fed this milk formula when they were all babies, and they've all grown up to be very tall and very good and everything. So I tried this too. I tried the milk myself because I wanted to see what my son was eating, and it is better. For newborn babies, it's okay because it's their first food and they haven't had anything good to taste before. And so it doesn't really matter if it's bitter or not. But the fact that it's bitter, it means that they haven't added any sugar or any glucose to it, which means that it's not as fattening as other brands such as Mead Johnson's. Mead Johnson's is very, very, very sweet. We have also tried that because it's claimed to be the best-selling milk formula in Hong Kong. But I'm not a fan of that. And we only tried it because, okay, the milk powder that we're drinking now, that we've continued to drink, is the one by Carry Home goat milk formula. We changed from Now and Pro to the goat milk because he was having a lot of rash on his face, and it wasn't so easy for him to poo. Like, it was very stressful for him to poo, and the poo was just too hard for him to kind of poo out. So I googled online, and people said that the Carry Home goat milk formula could help with his skin problems, and so we tried the goat milk, and he's had that ever since. I did feed him with breast milk before, but I didn't have enough milk, and so I changed to using goat milk formula. And apparently goat milk formula is said to be the closest to breast milk, the closest milk to breast milk. And it's not really that fattening. And it's kind of sweet, and it doesn't really have the game taste. It doesn't taste anything too gamey. Okay, but anyway, so we still use that. And the reason why we tried Mead Johnson's is because there was a period in time where the news publicized that New Zealand's milk is not safe to drink it because it contains some bacteria or something or other. And so we were forced to change to another brand. And since Mead Johnson's was the top selling milk powder in Hong Kong, we tried it. But it was too sweet. And it wasn't good for Jasper either. His poo became very soft, and it was like diarrhea. And so we had to change back to the goat milk formula. And he had nothing, like no problems at all. Excuse me. And we've also tried the milk formula by Friso. We tried it because we were at a hospital and we didn't bring enough milk for Jasper, and he had to drink milk before taking medicine, and so the hospital provided us with the milk from Friso, and it doesn't have much of a taste, and that's why Jasper didn't really like drinking it. But Friso is using milk from New Zealand as well, and so, but they're using cow's milk, but Jasper's drinking goat's milk. I don't know the benefits of these milk, but Jasper is growing and he's quite tall for his age, and his face is quite white, it's quite smooth. He doesn't really have many problems, and but his body is quite dark in color. Apart from that, we quite like using the goat milk formula, and we don't need to fight with other people in Hong Kong about formula. Because it's quite crazy in Hong Kong recently that a lot of mainlanders are coming to Hong Kong to buy milk formula for their babies because of all the problems with the Chinese milk brands, that they're containing a lot of substances which are not very good for babies, and so they've all come to Hong Kong to buy milk powder, and so a lot of the time, Mead Johnson's and many popular brands of milk powder have gone out of stock completely. But we're very glad that we use goat milk formula because it's not very popular in Hong Kong at the moment. It is becoming more popular, but it's still not as crazy as using Mead Johnson's and Friso and other brands. So we're very happy with that. And just looking at the time, I have spent 45 minutes talking about this, and so it's too long already. I'd like to keep talking and talking and talking about it, but sorry, you must have been quite bored about it already. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment, or feel free to email me at geniesfaveproducts@gmail.com. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Thank you.